Making epoxy-free tumblers with CrystaLac does not have to be complicated, and you are more than capable of making amazingly beautiful tumblers. My name is Allison, and I have been teaching crafters just like you for over 3 years learn how to make tumblers with CrystaLac. And after teaching thousands of people how to do it, I'm so confident that you can do it too. If making tumblers is on your list of hobbies to try this year, it is time to get started. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the top 3 rules that you need to follow on every single tumbler so you can set yourself up for success. If making tumblers this year is on your to-do list, hit subscribe and let's get started. So these days on the internet, there are so many people trying to tell you what to do, what to buy, and the best way to go. That's not just crafting, that's just the internet in general. So it can be really hard to kind of cut through the noise and figure out like what's actually real, what do I really need, what do I really need to do, and who can I trust? Once I developed an allergy to epoxy, realizing I was getting horrible migraines and having trouble breathing, I had to move past it. I just couldn't use epoxy anymore. It was in my best interest and the health of myself and my family to switch over to CrystaLac products for tumblers. It was really important to me to be able to make things in my home safely without bringing in all of those toxic chemicals. And when I first started, no one was talking about CrystaLac because it hadn't been used on tumblers. It had been used for like furniture, tables, wood projects, and stuff like that. And because nobody was talking about it, it seemed so daunting. Like there were so many rules, like how could I ever figure out what I needed to do on my tumblers? A lot has changed in the last 3 years, and there are a lot more people creating content on this subject. And while that's really, really cool and really, really awesome, there are some drawbacks because it can get harder to figure out which person you should be listening to and like what you're supposed to do. All I know is that I have taught thousands and thousands of people through this YouTube channel alone, as well as over 150 people one-on-one in my group program, Tumbler Maker Accelerator, to be amazing at making tumblers. And after all these years and after all these classes, I have narrowed it down to my top 3 rules that you need to follow on each of your tumblers to make sure that they turn out beautifully and you're not wasting a bunch of supplies and your time and your effort, because we really do want these to turn out nice. If you've ever felt overwhelmed in your quest, your hunt to learn everything there is to learn about making glitter tumblers, especially tumblers without epoxy, make sure you leave me a comment in the comments below so I can make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful. So let's get into it. Rule number 1 is prepping your tumblers. You might see people not prepping their tumblers if they use epoxy. And while I always recommend proper prep no matter what top coat you choose to put on, there is a totally different process when it comes to resin tumblers and epoxy-free tumblers, because every tumbler comes with a factory coating. Basically, when you buy a cup off the shelf, you should be able to use it as is. I like to call these cups naked cups, and I think we're all here because we think they're kind of boring, right? It's really important that you take off that factory finish so you can get your paints and your glitters and your top coats to stick to your tumblers. If you want to guarantee that your tumbler is gonna turn out and it's gonna last a really long time, proper prep is the number 1 thing that you have to do on every single tumbler. Rule number 2 is to follow the dry times. Now, while it might seem overwhelming to figure out how long does everything have to dry, the most important thing to remember is whatever you're using, whatever you're putting on your tumbler, that specific product has specific guidelines for how long it's supposed to dry. Now, if you're interested in epoxy tumblers, it really depends on the brand and the type, because it could be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours or 12 to 24 hours. So you just have to read the labels and see what the manufacturer recommends. As far as CrystaLac goes, I use the same handful of products on all of my tumblers. I'm gonna link a video in the top right corner right now that goes into more details on those. But the top ones being Grand Finale, Glitter Glue, and their paints. Grand Finale and Glitter Glue need to dry 2 hours each before you recoat it, and any of the paints need to dry for 4 hours. There are plenty of other products that you can use, like spray paint, other paints, different things going on that you can still use for your tumblers. And each one of those is gonna take a different amount of time to dry. Again, you need to figure out what it is and what's gonna work best for that one thing that you wanna use. But if you don't let it dry long enough, you're gonna cause issues later on. Especially water-based products, they need longer to dry typically than something that has solvents in it. And rule number 3 is to always sand your tumblers. Now, sanding is a prepping method, but I'm more talking about during the process. So when you're making CrystaLac tumblers, the only way to get a smooth and shiny surface is if you sand along the way. This process will kind of change depending on the style tumbler that you're doing, your experience, and what specific products you are using, but it is really, really, really important to sand your tumblers so you can get a smooth and shiny surface. Now, there's a lot more that I can share about how to prep your tumblers, how to sand your tumblers, what exactly those are supposed to look like, and how do you know if you're doing it right, more than I can do in this single YouTube video. So I am hosting a free webinar on February 13th that dives into the top 5 things that you're doing wrong with making tumblers. If you're still trying to figure out whether epoxies for you or CrystaLac products are for you, I know it's a tough decision, but you should have all of the information that you need to make that decision. So if you want all of the information about how they compare, the safety of both, everything that you need to know, check out this video on your screen.